Okay, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations you Akim out there that's been pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Hey, what you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans do not realize that things is about to get real bad out here. A time of suffering is coming. You know, there's different reports that a lot of landlords are not accepting Section 8 vouchers anymore. Throughout America, Atlanta, New York, Jersey, they're not accepting Section 8 vouchers anymore. Therefore, a lot of people is left with an empty document that they can't get no housing. So therefore, they become homeless. And you have a large homeless population in America. The economy is soaking the drain. Gas prices, even though they went down, but it's going to soar again because there's a lot of conflict, in wars with Russia, Ukraine, Syria, Turkey, and rumors of wars. Israel striking Iran, China invading Taiwan, India and China beefing. So things are starting to get real bad, man. And people, they just don't care. A lot of jakes say that they don't watch the news because it's too depressing. But the news is very informative if you're watching alternative news media outlets. Because mainstream media, they feeding you a bunch of mangumbo, a bunch of bullshit. But news is very informative. That's how you measure the times. But the 2/3, they just blinded pursuant to Isaiah 6:9. And they're going to be in that state until the Lord destroys this place. Until Yahweh Shah crack them skies and the Lord bring that assembly of great nations against America pursuant to Jeremiah 50:9. The 2/3 are going to remain in the state of ungodliness, blindness, and in a state of confusion. And that's just how the Lord has it. I don't feel sorry for them jakes. Because, hey, the Lord got them in that state. The Lord has these jakes in the state where it is destroyed, man. Hosea 6:4. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Jake don't want to have nothing to do with anything of these scriptures. I'm talking about the 2/3. And they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it. So I'm going to get into these scriptures. Like I said, I'm not going to make this lesson too long. I'm just going to, bring out a few scriptures. Abaratazah, I came out there to be edified. So let's get into this lesson. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel. That word, it said it's children, it should be sons of Israel. Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, only you have I known of all the families of the earth. The Lord has given from Judah on down to Issachar the laws, statutes, and commandments. And what the sons of Israel has done, they turn their back on these great laws that the Lord has given us. And therefore, we're in the state that we're in to this very day. That's why all these calamities came upon us. Slavery, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 15th verse on down, explains all the calamities, everything that befell the men, the sons of Israel, for disobeying the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You know, it says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. That's why we receive the law, statutes, and commandments. Therefore, I will punish you for going off, for not acknowledging the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has given us, and worshiping different deities and being like these different nations that was around about us. It says, for all your iniquity, sins upon sin. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? You ain't going to have a nigga in the world, you know, with a man of the Lord out there pushing this, out there on the highways and the byways. That's like oil and water. It says, Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? You're not going to have, like I said, a man that's into hip hop, hardcore, trying to become a rapper, hanging out with a man that's doing the work. Neither will you have a man that's doing the work, a man of the Lord out there doing the work, pushing these prophecies out there in the highways and the byways, putting up lessons. Neither you going to have a man that's doing great things that has been commanded of him, hanging out with somebody that's in the world. It's not going to happen. It's like I said, oil and water don't mix. Neither does a 2/3 and a 1/3, which are the elect. They don't agree upon the same things, so they're not going to hang out with each other. They're not going to walk together. The 2/3 are going to walk in his wicked ways, and a man that's a part of the elect, or the hopefully that's part of the elect that's doing the work, is going to walk in that path, that narrow path that leads to righteousness. It says, will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall into a snare upon the earth where no gin is? And we telling you, man, what's coming down the pipe, what Esau has planned, you know, we warning you. We that lion roaring, telling y'all what's coming down the pipe, warning the people of pestilence, famine, uproars of the people, martial law, Gurkha troops being tossed headfirst to a concentration camp, giving things that's offered unto idols. We already know what that is. But it's going in one ear and out the other. Jake don't want to hear it. Jake don't want to hear it, man. And that's going to be detrimental to your health. Pursuant to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17, you know, we warning y'all. Whether you were here, whether you were forbear, we warning. We telling you what's coming down the pipe. We telling you to brace yourself for that heavy impact that's coming. But majority of the people going to get caught off guard because they in that party, folly, degenerate state. It is what it is. It says, can a bird, back in Amos chapter 3, verse 5, can a bird fall into a snare upon earth where there's no gin, where there's no jinners for him? Shall one take up a snare? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? We blowing that trumpet. And that trumpet is this truth. These scriptures. The words of Yahweh Shah. We out there in the highways and the byways blowing the trumpet loud, warning the people. Those who were here, they were here. Those who forbear, they're going to forbear. They're going to be taken. They're going to be taken in that gin, that snare, that trap. It says, shall the trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? All this evil that's coming, the Lord is orchestrating it, but on the left-hand side. Because Esau the so-called white man, is the Lord's whipping stick on the left-hand side. Psalm 17, verse 13. Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, the 9th verse on down to the 12th verse. The Lord is allowing Esau, the so-called white man, to sharpen that sword to bring a sore slaughter. And we warn y'all, but only the elect is going to take heed. The 2/3 is going to be taken. And the Lord appointed 4 kinds of deaths. Jeremiah 15, verse 1 on down to 3. 4 kinds of death for you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And you're going to be taken. It says, shall the trumpet be blown in the city? Back in Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Should there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? You see, only ones that's going to be afraid of the prophets that they're blowing the trumpet is the men of the Lord. It's the men that's a part of the hopeful elect that's being called into this thing. They're going to hear the words of the Lord. They're going to be afraid. And they're going to change their lives and do that which is right in the eyes of the Most High to the best of their ability, being in captivity in Babylon. But the 2/3 is going to continue on in their folly, which is going to lead to their destruction. It says, should there be evil, bad times in the city, and the Lord have not done it? All these different shootings, more shootings, all these different judgments that's being carried out throughout Babylon, throughout the whole world. The Lord is doing it. Something that you wacky-tacky ass Christians don't consider. Satan is not in control of anything. He works for Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? He do the bidding of Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? How does he do it? By working on the minds of these different men to do wicked and evil works. Esau, the other nations, and 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So let's get that out in the open. The Lord controls Satan. The Lord controls everything. It says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Surely the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord Yahweh have spoken, who can but prophesy? That's why we out there in the highways and the byways, week in and week out, doing the work of the Lord, doing the will of the Lord. Sacrificing our own lives, putting our lives in jeopardy to get this word out. Whether you will hear and whether you will forbear. That's on you. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak down the ears of my people. Who's the Lord's people? You Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, who are the true biblical Israelites. Judah on down to Issachar. Behold, 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not their imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity, which is the unbelief, and the imagination that's against us are the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that's imagining vain things that you want to do to the prophets. If you had your way, you would kill us. Because that's what it did to the prophets in the ancient world that was bringing the Lord's word. They killed and stoned the prophets. But now they imagine vain things and demonize us by calling us rapists and pedophiles and different wicked things that they spew out of their potholes. But if they had their way, they'd put us to death. But it says, let not the incredulity, the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. How they speak against us? By demonizing us, lying upon us, calling us names. That's how they speak against us. It says, for all the unfaithful, all the unfaithful 2/3 shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, which we see, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Gangbanging, drug dealing, being a part of the alphabet community, being moles, selling their soul for and demoralizing themselves for FRNs that's not worth anything, bending over, touching their toes, letting somebody bust their back up just for a rap contract or to be in Hollywood. It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And that's the elect. The innocent and the righteous blood crying up unto the Lord Yahweh daily, asking him how long is he going to allow this wicked place to continue? How long is he going to allow Esau, the so-called white man, to be in power? He says, and therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Yeah, the 2/3 is led as a flock to the slaughter. Because why they not taking heed to the words of the Lord Yahweh, why Yahweh shall do with the mouth of his prophets? Because the Lord's not going to come down himself and speak to you. He's going to use his men. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. The same plagues that the Lord smote ancient Egypt with, he's smiting modern day Egypt, which is America, with the very same plagues. And those that's not right, they're going to get caught up in them very same plagues that Esau's getting caught up in. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations thereof shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Lord Yahweh shall bring upon it. I'm going to jump down to 14. Woe is the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of their destruction draweth near, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. That's that race war. Clash of civilizations. Upper class against the middle class against the lower class, the poor against those that's, barely making it. It says, for there shall be sedition. Sedition, that word, if you look that word up, it means, sedition up, it means to go up against a monarch or the government. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Do you think when all hell break loose, people gonna care about what Eric Adams have to say? With Kathy Hochul, whatever her name is, the governor of New York City, or if any prominent individual that's a part of this system, they're not gonna care. They're gonna do what they have to do to survive. It says, and man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. Why? Because it's gonna be martial law. The city is gonna be carted off. The bridges is gonna be carted off with military personnel, whether it's the National Guard, Interpol, or Gurkha troops from different countries. All hell is about to break loose, man. 2023 is gonna be a hell of a year. It says, and man shall have no pity. It says, matter of fact, I'm gonna go up a little bit. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. People gonna be doing all kind of crazy shit to each other, man. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy his house, but destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's what's coming. Dread and tribulation, man. The time of suffering is coming, man. The time of suffering is coming. And we warn you, week in and week out. Whether you will take heed, or whether you will fan your hand and scoff and scorn. As long as this word go out. So with that, I hope your argument was edified. Like I said, I wasn't going to make this lesson too long. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakak Wadash, and double honor to the Apostle Elza Great Millstone. Shalom.